how well my microphone is. Let me check if my microphone is doing good. 1, 2, 3, check. There's a coordinated economic attack aimed at all New York City consumers. I repeat, there is a coordinated consumer attack directed at every single human being looking to purchase food here in the city. And it's starting to get out of hand. I've already emailed the Attorney General and the state's Consumer Affairs Division over variable costing at both Whole Foods and Tribeca. From the AG's office, substantial evidence was needed, not just word of mouth. This past week, I've been a target of fraud or racketeering, and it's organized across multiple establishments in the Battery Park area. Last week, I went to Shake Shack and a double cheeseburger was $9.99. By this week or last week, on Thursday, the price of the cheeseburger alone climbed to 13. For the only reason that me, myself, as a target, recently purchased the hamburger twice in 2 consecutive days with fries, and they already decide to increase the price. So I complained. I said that that's some Soviet, un-American, sovereign citizen ass shit that they pulling. Because we come here, right? I went to this establishment with the thought that I was going to spend the same thing for the same service, and the service is already starting to grow. The same style of variable costing that I've identified at Whole Foods, that I've identified at Tribeca, and a Shake Shack, with less than 7 days, the item that I purchased magically grew in size 3 full dollars. The subsequent 72 hours after I made that transaction at Shake Shack was straight racketeering. Was the racket. Less than 24 hours from visiting the Shake Shack, I got a Walgreens here in Tribeca. And I'm a regular. They see me there twice a day on some days or most nights, getting snacks, soda, beer. And prices are reasonable. For the things that I select, it's always reasonable. Why? Because I'm not choosing high ticket items. I'm a bag of soda, a bag of chips, and I'm out the door. A bag of beer, a bag of chips, a bag of soda, a bag of chips. No exclusivity or digging around the store. So 24 hours from the Shake Shack incident, I get 3 Slim Jims that were valued at $2.88. 3, not 1. I usually get 2. I got 3. A bag of Hers potato chip, jalapeno, and a 20 ounce of Dr. Pepper. the cash register took to himself to price himself the Slim Jims at $3.99, knowing that previously the same item was $2.88, just 24 hours after the Shake Shack incident, and $17 were debited from my EBT card. Again, aggressive, variable costing as victims of consumer fraud, or what we could call racketeering, among multiple retail establishments in the Battery Park area. 42 hours after the Shake Shack incident, which was Sunday, I go to Starbucks late, around 8:30 in the morning. I get a small pike. The price was right, but the cup was not a small cup. It was a doppio cup of coffee. And an African American female, whose name I'm not going to disclose, approached the cash register and whispered, "Oh, we have to charge him more." Within 72 hours, targeted consumer fraud is happening in the Tribeca Lower East Side area. This is targeted consumer fraud. This is, in layman's term, RICO. If you could identify, like I've already said it, who is running the show, knowing that by majority these establishments are ran by African American people, who is communicating back and forth these establishments to coordinate the fraud, to target me as the consumer, to charge me more. And another factor that is not race, for it to be undeniably a racketeering case here in New York City, conspiring to defraud specific consumers that are voicing out their concerns about the existing conditions, that are voicing out the very specifics of the propaganda currently being voiced out by the African American community. They want unity. Unity. And I say they want unity to do what they did to me in 72 hours, to conspire against and end up decreasing my checkings in 72 hours by 50 something odd dollars, all over a complaint of variable costing in which the Attorney General feels there's insufficient information. And my information is right here. I buy something and these people want to jack up the price by the time I come back. Not 24 hours, not the next day, but by the time I come back, whatever I put my hands on, these people is looking to profiteer. What's the solution? Gotta fire all these blacks. You gotta get rid of them. You can't leave one bad apple in these establishments. one bad apple, because if in 72 hours they could deprive collectively through that unity that they talk about a man of his money by playing with the cash register or using variable costing to get more money out of consumers that like what they got, they could do that shit to anyone, not just me. And how they do it and what happened within the last week, 72 hours, identical. Affordable item, I get affordable item. I come back looking for affordable item. The item is up $3-4. And in worst cases, you as a consumer consistently needing, based on hunger, refrigerated items to sustain your health while it aggressively increases in price as time moves on. So if I'm hungry and a batch of chicken cutlets started at $5.35, and this week I need protein, costs are going to increase on a day-to-day basis, that by the end of the week, that same chicken in the refrigerated sector, in the case of Whole Foods, increased $4, almost $5 due to tear weight, due to the choices that they are making when applying the sticker price. Oh, there you got it. That's what's happening here in Christmas. It's already Christmas. To New Yorkers in New York City, we got an African American demographic on outright racketeering behind the cash register, targeting people they don't like, and costing them more than usual. Way more than usual. They believe they have the right to prescribe fraud at a moment's notice and coordinate fraud within a 72-hour period, in which every establishment that you visit, consequently, after identifying fraud, is fraud down the line. It's more expensive after the fact. And you, being a prior customer of those items, just see the increase and the rapid succession of returning back to normal a few days later. What's the solution? Fire. As a doctor in business, you got to get rid of everybody. You got to take every sticker in a pharmacy and take $1 from it. Whatever they put there to get more money out of, you got to take all that out. Every sticker has to come out. $1 less across everything. I've already have a principal guideline on how to find fraud in comestible products here in New York City. I got one benchmark, just one. The price of a cup of orange juice. Just one. If the price of 11 ounces of orange juice is close to $4, the whole store is overpriced. The whole store in here, it's some experiment on looking to defraud the American consumer by what I call sovereign citizens. That's not American. There's no way in hell American people are going to look to defraud, make hungry, take the nourishment from other American people. It's just not possible. Not possible for a certain demographic to be looking to malnourish, defraud, take money from, coordinate the level of fraud that I've identified since I've been here over the last 2 years. It's unacceptable. But you'll call them sovereign citizens. That's what they are. They think they're American, but no American is going to fraudulently hike the price of another American. You know, they justify it based on whatever motivations and act upon it, because we don't do that. No American should stand to that and call it okay. Nobody should be justifying the right for them to defraud the American consumer today, a day before Christmas in New York City. But to me, 72 hours is a chance to parlay the gains stolen from every transaction I made in a 72-hour period. To finalize, if 100,000 white people left the city, if 100,000 white people left the city, it is imperative that 250,000 African American people follow suit. It is not exclusive. Or we have a big problem. And I'm already giving you the problem. I'm already laying out the foundation of racketeering across retail and the usual suspects. African Americans, radicalized sovereign citizens operating under the guise of retail employees, taking food, sustenance, vitamins, minerals, calories from the American consumer. And they're doing it under the guise of freedom to work, rights, unity. They're using whatever excuse they want to throw to that to justify what they're doing to people out here. More people have to see. More people have to swipe and check receipts. More people have to experience the fraud taking place. And then, altogether, straight to the AG. It's the only way. Business owners got to fire everybody to solve this problem, because the next employee that comes in through the door might be a radical and and is gonna take low item prices and increase their price. And that's gonna stop kids from getting their snacks, their sugary items, their pastries, their sodas, their snacks, adults like myself, and making large purchases, decreasing our bank account so that we cannot make ends meet. So that in a moment's notice, all the savings of the month are gone. In a moment's notice, the $30 that we could have saved month to month are missing in some random racketeering parlay across multiple retail establishments, all organized by an African American population working in retail, thinking that they have the right to do such things to the American consumer, like myself, Dr. Roman Bonilla, and everyone else. Hope you all have a good day. Gotta get busy. Check your receipts, check your taxes, get a program like Copilot. Copilot's a pretty good program that lets you track your finances and pay attention to the OJ. Open your eyes, look at the orange juice, and that's the benchmark. Simply Tropicana, look at the OJ, and that's the benchmark. If a single cup of orange juice is aiming for $4, the whole store is overpriced. If OJ is low, $2.80, the store is pricing it correctly. The store is doing what it's supposed to be doing. If it's under $3 for a cup of juice, 2 thumbs up. If it's about to blow over 4, all of them gotta go. Because they taking advantage of everyone and every single consumer that walk in that door. Take care.